Tower 1383, runway 27, clear takeoff. United 1538, runway 27 on
Hello, and welcome back to the English for ICAO series videos again. This is Frank speaking. In this series of videos, I would like to share with you some of the tips that might help you out to improve and polish your English before facing the ICAO test for pilots and ATCs. Today is episode 2, Grammar. How to describe aviation-related photographs for the ICAO English language test. In this short video, I will focus on how to organize your speech, expand your vocabulary, and stand out from the rest. Let's get started, shall we? When you're faced with a photograph and you're told to describe it, follow this easy structure. First off, introduce the photograph to the examiner, then describe the facts, then speculate about what is happening or happened, and finally give your opinion. When describing the facts, do not forget it is very common to encounter pictures of unusual or unexpected events, such as damage to an aircraft, a crash, or a collision. So, having this in mind, stick to the following routine. First, start your speech by providing a brief introduction of the image. This is just an introduction that provides a general understanding of what is happening in the picture. Look at the top, bottom, left, right, the background, and the foreground. Then describe the aircraft. Do you see an aircraft? What type of aircraft is it? And how do you know it's a jumbo jet? Then describe the weather conditions. What is the weather like? And finally, describe other elements of the photograph. Where was the picture taken? Was it taken on the apron? Or maybe it was taken up in the air? Introduction to the photograph. Let us see an example of the intro with the picture. But first of all, have a look to this vocabulary, as you might find it useful to help you out introduce the picture. This picture depicts a British Airways aircraft that has suffered an engine fire. Passengers can be seen walking away from the aircraft, having evacuated via the emergency chutes. Now, we will jump right into the step 2, describe the aircraft. After just a brief introduction, proceed to describe the aircraft you see. As a bonus tip, try to respond. What type of aircraft is it? And how do you know? Again, have a look at this vocabulary, as you might find it rather handy. Now, this is my take on the photograph you see. What looks like a Boeing 737 has overshot the runway and slid down a steep bank. The fuselage appears to be intact. However, the landing gear has probably collapsed. The emergency chutes have been deployed, and the rear left and over wing doors are open. The left engine has dug into the soft ground, and this may have prevented the aircraft from sliding further down the hill. And now, step 3. Describe the weather. Do not forget to describe the weather conditions you see. And again, pay attention to the following vocabulary. Now, I will come up with some short sentences to describe weather. The weather appears to be clear and calm. A few scattered clouds dot the sky. However, a bright and clear sky is forecasted for the day. Overall, visibility is excellent, and the weather is favorable. Storms were strong with gusty winds, hail, and very heavy rain, which may have been contributory factors to this incident. The weather was inclement, with rain and fog that considerably reduced visibility for pilots and ground personnel. Patches of thick fog were drifting across the airfield, so visibility was greatly reduced for pilots and the control tower. Now, after the weather, describe the other elements of the picture. Look at the background of the photograph and try to answer the following. Where was the picture taken? Was it taken on the apron? Maybe it was taken up in the air. It's important that you work on your vocabulary too, so here you have some examples. Now, this is my take on the picture presented here below. At the bottom left of the picture, I can see a cargo lift connected to the starboard side of the aircraft. There is a pushback truck and some other service vehicles too. The plane, a British Airways Boeing 737, is on the stand and connected to an air bridge. It looks like a rather cloudy day as the sky is quite overcast. There is a building in the distance connected by a bridge to another part of the terminal, which suggests this might be a large airport. A speculation phase. Now it is time to speculate. It is time to use your imagination and say what could have happened or what is going to happen. The goal on this part is to express possibility and present your ability of logical thinking, followed by a plain English structure. And remember, you're not being tested by your knowledge, so you can free associate at will. Again, pay attention to this vocabulary. As a tip, stay away from expressing your opinion starting by the formula I think. It is very common and unimpressive for the examiners. Here it is where you can use your more advanced grammar structures. Now, I'll try to speculate about what happened in the following picture. Although the runway is not visible, this looks like a runway overshot. There is standing water on the soil. Therefore, the weather conditions may have been a contributory factor to the incident. It is currently quite overcast, but when the incident happened, there could have been heavy rain or standing water on the runway, which caused the aircraft to skid. The rear door is open, so I reckon the passengers managed to evacuate, although it's likely that some of them sustained some minor injuries. Furthermore, I can see an accumulation of snow on top of the fuselage, so this photo must have been taken sometime after the event happened. I believe the weather probably was a major factor in this accident, as snow or ice may have affected the performance of the aircraft. As this is a front view of the accident, I can see several emergency vehicles to the right side of the aircraft. Finally, I can see trees and street lighting. which suggests the incident might have taken place near a build-up area. Give your opinion. And now it's time to put all the previous tips together into one description. Pay attention again to the vocabulary here below. This is my attempt at the following photograph. This photo shows a Southwest Airlines aircraft that crashed on a highway. I can tell it belongs to Southwest because of the blue and red livery. The aircraft seems to be a Boeing 737. The fuselage appears to be intact, although further damage is very likely to have ensued. Nevertheless, I can see at least one of the exits is open. The emergency chute is also deployed, so I believe passengers must have evacuated the aircraft by the rear door. Furthermore, I can see an accumulation of snow on top of the fuselage, so this photo must have been taken sometime after the event happened. I believe the weather probably was a major factor in this accident, as the snow or ice may have affected the performance of the aircraft. As this is a plan view of the accident, I can see several emergency vehicles to the right side of the aircraft. Finally, I can see trees and a street lighting, which suggests the incident might have taken place near a build-up area. And that is the end of part 2. I hope you enjoy the content, and again, thanks very much for your time, and remember, if you want to get airborne with your English level, drop me a line on the email here below. See you soon.
83 runway 27 clear takeoff. United 1538.